In this video, I'll discuss incident documentation. The SANS Institute Online has numerous white papers and templates that deal with all things security, including incident response. Where an incident response form might deal with things such as the cause of the incident, how it was discovered, the affected scope, containment and eradication details, as well as recovery details. Here on the SANS.org website, we can see numerous security incident forms related to incident handling, such as an incident contact list, incident identification, incident survey, incident containment, and so on. So, for example, if I were to click on the incident identification template, it opens up a new web browser tab and opens up a PDF where I would put in information such as the incident identifiers or detectors information, the date and time the incident was detected, the location, the contact info, of course, of the person that detected it. So we can use these as a starting point template. They're freely available on the SANS website to start to get ourselves organized and have a plan in place with proper documentation. External documentation can come in the form of a service level agreement or an SLA. Now, this is a contractual document between a consumer of a service and the provider of that service. So, in the case of an incident response provider, we would have an SLA with them if we were their customer. So, we're outsourcing incident response. So, when we outsource, we might outsource some or all incident response issues to a third party. Now, we might do this because of a lack of time internally to properly handle incidents. We might also have a lack of skilled expertise to deal with certain issues. Also, third parties also will perhaps offer 24/7 support and follow-up support as well. So, if you think about an example such as our internal incident response team being able to handle incidents maybe related to smartphones or desktops, but what about mainframe systems that are involved in other locations? Or what about identity federation problems or public cloud issues? So, those are things that our internal technicians might not be able to handle. So, therefore, outsourcing can be a viable solution. The chain of custody, of course, is always important where the preservation of evidence integrity is number one when it relates to dealing with external incidents and documentation. After incidents have occurred, documentation must then be, once again, updated. The incident response report will include things such as the cause, how the incident was discovered, the scope, how the issue was resolved, and ideally, through lessons learned, we'll then have some more new information that we can use to update the existing incident response plan. Because the common theme with a lot of this documentation for security and security controls and response plans is that it's an ongoing task to keep it up to date. So, why not take the opportunity of having an incident that's already occurred and been dealt with, and learning from it, updating the documentation at that point related to that incident? Another part of post incident documentation is dealing with incident meetings. So we could record meeting minutes, and this should normally happen only within a few weeks after the incident. The lessons learned, of course, are ideal for future prevention, useful for training and updating documentation, and can also be very useful for tabletop and mock exercises so that all involved parties know exactly what to do when an incident occurs. In this video, we talked about incident documentation.